Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons. Sign up to become a member of the Shannons Club. Kenworth Trucks Australia and Pace Farm Eggs. G'day, I'm Fletch and welcome as I bring you to Coffs Harbour in New South Wales, the home of the big banana. And that is not the only thing that is appealing: automotive museums. Unfortunately, in Australia, there's a history of some closing, but not here today, because I'm about to show you one that has just opened. Or has it just transferred? I'll let you decide. Stay in your favourite chair to see some of the rebirth of the National Motor Holden Museum in this week's Classic Restos on the road. How uniquely different is this episode? We're talking about a Holden Museum along with a cartoon gallery, and they're both located at the bunker. There's a few of these bunkers up and down the eastern seaboard. One that I know quite well is Fort Drummond at Mount St Thomas near Wollongong. But a bunker, what is it and why is it here? When the Australian mainland was under attack with air raids on Darwin and the North Coast in 1942, Australia was under threat and most of our troops and allies were away in other countries. The bunker, officially known as Base Operations Unit Number 12, was established here, Coffs Harbour, in 1943. The base was needed to communicate with aircraft, control area and command headquarters. Radio communication equipment and personnel were of critical importance and kept safe from attack by placing them in the specifically constructed underground bunker near the airfield on what is known now as City Hill. How cool is this history? The bunker, just sitting on the other side of this glass panel, was used as a communication facility by the Civil Aviation Authority up until the year of 1980. Now, on a scale of time, that's not that long ago. When the Coffs Harbour City Council was considering a proposal to redevelop City Hill as a civic cultural centre, Rotarian John Champion became aware of the derelict underground bunker and, realising its potential, suggested that this unique space become a permanent home for the ever-growing cartoon collection. Hence, the Bunker Cartoon Gallery was born. In the continuing evolution of the bunker, fast forwarding to 2024 and the acquisition of new National Holden Motor Museum now resides here as well. Okay, well that was something about the cartoon gallery. Now it's time for the Holden Museum. Class this as a rebirth, a new start of the National Holden Motor Museum, replacing what we lost from Echuca, Victoria. The National Holden Motor Museum would not be possible without the generous support of local business owners, the local Rotary Club and its invaluable volunteers who keep the wheels turning. There was an opportunity to utilise the space upstairs that became available earlier in the year of 2024. Local Holden dealer Geoff King had the idea one morning at 4 a.m. to utilise the space as a Holden museum. The Echuca Museum had just closed, and adding some 98 octane to the story, Geoff had recently acquired their 48215, as well as the naming rights to National Holden Motor Museum. What a recipe! So it began. Everyone that has been here so far has their own Holden story. It's a place of nostalgia. And as we know, it's very safe to say that Holden has left its mark on the hearts of countless Australians. To tell us more, here's Mitchell.
This place means a lot to me. It's the preservation of manufacturing in Australia. It provokes a lot of memories for the visitors who come in. Everyone has their own special story to tell, and Holden has a special place in their hearts. So we're located inside a World War II communications base bunker, formerly known as Base Station 12. It was built throughout the war with our close proximity to the airports. Since then, the evolution of the bunker has seen the introduction of the National Holden Motor Museum and also the Cartoon Gallery. A few years ago, we were able to expand to house the National Holden Motor Museum and have this wonderful complex that we're able to present today. The bunker itself was originally dilapidated and full of snakes and spiders and other nasties. Rotary came along and had this wonderful idea to reinvent it and clean it up to house their cartoon collection. And then from there, it's evolved into what we see today with this wonderful motor museum attached to it also. Where else can we go to find history in our cartoons? It's the only cartoon gallery in the Southern Hemisphere. And we also have the added bonus of the history of our own iconic Holden brand. I'd have to say my favourite car is the VZ Monaro. It's part of my generation. I was still in school when it came out. I see them on the road and I still feel the same way today. One day it'll be in my garage. My first Holden memories when I was a kid, I was 6, in the tree out the front of my house. The neighbour had a burgundy WB Statesman DeVille with the red velour interior. At that age, I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was special. From there, that began my love affair with Holden. I've had too many to count. It took me 6 months to find my Caprice that I drive at the moment, and I will never let it go. With the National Holden Motor Museum, it doesn't matter what brand you're into, whether it be Ford, Nissan, Chrysler, we welcome everyone. We all share the same passion. We have everything here. We've got a cafe. We've just started hosting our own Cars and Coffee on the first Sunday of the month, which we've had huge success. Lots of people talking and sharing their enthusiasm. I'd love to see you all here very soon.
I've been a motoring enthusiast all my life. My Coupe 4 is rare and very special. A real performance car with all-wheel drive grip. I'm not a car club bloke and I don't work on it myself, but I do have a great mechanic. One day, I might even get that HQ. When it comes to insurance, it's got to be Shannons.
Shannons shares your passion. Call Shannons on 13 46 46. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
In 2025, why not consider a tour of Detroit, Michigan, USA with Fletch? Detroit, it's the Motown City, the automotive epicenter. Each day is wow, wow, and more wow. Imagine experiencing where automotive history on a grand scale began. Stay in fine accommodation, taking in some of the best museums and private car collections on the planet. Book your exclusive 2025 Detroit tour with Fletch. Enquiries at DetroitClassicTours.com.
Your story began in 1971. It's part of an endless tapestry that tells the story of our nation. It connects innovators to artisans, forests to houses, from the largest of operations to the smallest of outcomes. It's heritage. It's a legacy.
With us now, one of the main curators. How are you, Bob?
Really well, Fletch, yourself?
Good. And hats off to the team here. What a marvellous job you've done.
It's been a credit, actually, to one person who owns the collection. It's been a great thing that's for our bunker.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing collection.
Bob, I love the design of the new building built around the bunker, kept in theme. So we've got the bunker below us, yet the new building around it with the arch ceiling in theme of the bunker below us. I just think that's just an incredible design.
It's quite an incredible building. It came with a government grant from our local member at the time, Andrew Fraser. And one of our Rotary Club members actually was here every day supervising the building of it.
Yeah.
So it was something very special to our Rotary Club and to the bunker gallery.
And Bob, what a fantastic day out for someone or a family to come here and take in a cartoon gallery, and then of course these iconic Holdens. Doesn't get much better than that.
Doesn't get much better than that. Somewhere for mum and the kids to go while Dad has a look at the cars if they're not interested.
And speaking of which, the HR behind us, the police car, what's the story on this one, Bob?
Well, this was found in a shed in Cooper Pedy. Sat there for a long time, hasn't got very many kilometres on it, and it's had a respray obviously, but other than that it's as original as I found it, so it's a nice old car.
Well, Bob, getting through as quickly as we possibly can. A 1967-68 T behind us.
Yep.
Story here.
Nice old car. It's had a respray, I think, by the look of it. Very nice, nice old car. Not a whole lot of history known about it, but very, very good example of the time.
Looking back in time, lovely colours. The two-tone, pastel-y type colours from the 60s.
That was pretty upmarket to have a two-tone.
It was, and that carried through from the 50s as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And the T behind us as well, with the original bird catcher there, the sun visor across the screen.
Yep. That's it.
Bob, as we move around to the left, around one of the ventilators, just before we talk about the next car, this ventilator here, Bob, the shaft, right, to get the air out of the bunker from underneath us.
Get it out and in.
Yeah.
This area was totally underground, and that was just on the surface, and that's where the air for the underground bunker came in and out.
All right, the EH behind us, what's the story there, Bob?
Well, it comes from WA.
Oh.
Very low kilometres, and probably one of the greatest Holden ever made.
Yeah, very popular.
It was one of the greatest cars on the racetrack, in the street with the boys.
But they look good today. They've just
still
got a nice low line in the body.
Yep.
Good vision. They were a light car. They went well.
Yeah,
just a very popular car.
Still good to drive today.
Yeah.
Quite
And
surprising.
the HQ was the only model that bumped them off in sales, and the only reason for that is they ran longer in the series.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, they're pretty amazing.
Moving our way to the end of the bunker style building, we're going to kill three birds with one stone here, Bob.
Sounds
We've
like
got
a plan.
a VS ute, we've got an FB ute and a HT ute.
Yep.
Three iconic vehicles here to Holden.
Yep. These the backbone of the working class and the farmer in Australia. They, I think Holden were the first to build a ute in Australia on their product, and they've grown from there, from that to a much more modern work truck, and a lot of them were very basic, but up to the late model ones that have just been finished, it's been amazing.
It's
difference.
It's so nice that as basic as they were, they've ended up so collectible.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's not, all of our old cars, whether it be Chrysler, Ford or Holden, there's nothing now that's not popular.
No,
everything,
exactly.
Everything is sought after.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, Bob, this is interesting. You told me off camera that used to be a wall here, a section was taken out.
Yes, this was a meeting room behind us, and to fit the cars in, one of the modifications to the building was to take this wall out and just have this ideal little nook for these cars that you see here now.
Yeah, you know, I hope these cars enjoy being here because they can't get out.
No, they can't get out. That's very true.
It's very interesting. Most museums have got side doors, access doors, whatever. But no, they're here for good.
They're here for a while.
Yeah, and of course for security purposes as well. You can't beat that either.
Can't beat that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, the three cars behind us. What's going on here, Bob?
Very nice little Gemini, great little car.
Yeah.
Ladies' car. I think it originally come from Bathurst.
Yeah.
Very low kilometres, under 20,000 kilometres, I think.
Yeah, they were tough as nails, these little
They were a
Geminis.
great little car. We actually rallied one of those.
Yeah, they're a great car. Even stories of guys putting 308s in these things and leaving their original diffs in place, and they could handle it. Like they were a tough little car, really. They were, weren't they?
They were a very tough little car, yeah. Holden Dealer team rallied these cars.
Yeah, and one thing about them as well, you can feel that they still had a level of metal in them, because when they closed, even with the doors, you like hear that.
Yeah, they close.
And that's where I give accolades to the Tirana as well, LHLX Tirana. When you shut their doors, very much like a Kingswood.
It's clunk.
Yeah.
Clunk.
Okay, the two behind us, Bob.
Quite a bit of interest in this particular one. That was the demonstration car that drove around Australia in a very short period of time to prove that the four-cylinder Commodore was a great car and very economical and was going to be the best car we ever owned. And this beautiful example of a GTS Monaro here, it's only got 170, 50 or something thousand, very low K, very original and a very nice car, but they were the start of bigger and better things to come, and it's a fine example of a car of its era.
When I was a kid, I loved cars, still do. The 57 Cadillac Eldorado Brougham was the most advanced car in the world. Cost more than a Rolls. Hand-built with a stainless steel roof, cruise control, electric seats, and would you believe, air suspension. American iron. It's a passion Shannons understand. That's why they insure my daily drive, the caddy, my bike, even the house.
Call Shannons on 13 46 46. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
And of course, if you own a classic or two, make sure they are insured with Shannons. There have been some Holden museums featured in the past on classic restos, and you can search for these on the Shannons Club. While you're there, look around Australia's largest automotive online hub. For more information, visit shannons.com.au.
You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Classic Restos TV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au.
Now, Bob, as soon as we walk up the stairs, we're hit with this, the initial display, the 48215.
Yep, an original car out of the Echuca Museum. Geoff bought this car, and it's rather special. There's a lot of things on this car that people don't realise had changes. Beautiful example of that era.
And striking as well in burgundy red.
Yeah.
The beautiful waterfall grille on the front where Holden never skimped. I think a lot of their budget went to the cosmetics back then.
They always look good.
Bob, who wouldn't want one of these? 1969 HT 186S.
Beautiful.
Have a go at it, would you?
Yeah,
Original
absolutely.
car.
Absolutely. It was one of these that Peter Brock started his first run in Bathurst. Shared a car with Des West as a co-driver, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
But this was Holden's big step to more of a sports car for the local hoon.
Absolutely.
And, it was an absolutely huge success.
Something like this doesn't matter if it's not a V8. I mean, as I said earlier, who wouldn't want one? Have a look at that door trim, that beautiful GTS door trim, original from the era. It's not a replacement, that's an original trim.
No, exactly. Yeah. And this is one of Geoff's personal little joys.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Here behind us, a CV8Z 2005 Monaro. These have got to be collectible by now.
Absolutely. They've the two-door worked a treat. I don't think the sales of them took off like they thought they would have. But this particular car is brand new, never been registered. And here it sits in its glory, V8.
Yeah. Now, behind us, Holden's entry into the small class, remarkable fuel economy, the little Barina.
Yeah, this particular little car's got a bit of history.
Yeah.
It did a round Australia fuel economy test, and they did some remarkable time, and averaged, I think, 75 miles per gallon.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, then again, the reason Holden brought this car in was to get in with the other four-cylinder cars on the market.
Now, Bob, just beside the Barina, what a beautiful example of a HD Prem.
This is an amazing car. You have to see it to believe how original it is. It's one of Geoff's recent purchases, and it's an absolute fine example of what top-of-the-line car used to be in the day.
Every time I see a Prem, whether it's HD, HR, I think their interiors for the mid-60s for General Motors Holden, they were paramount in those cars. I think it's one of the best jobs they did.
Yeah, and this is an amazing car.
And moving on, a little bit of late model stuff here, Bob, a VX and a VZ Commodore.
Yep.
Story of these cars?
A bit of a story. This was the red one.
The red one?
The ladies' choice, red one.
Yes.
Was a bit of experimental. This car is supercharged, and was in this era that they started doing things like that to upgrade them and make them quicker.
Yeah, what a great car.
Yeah, very nice car. They were very popular. And the car behind us is a VZ. Yeah. And it's a brand new car, never been registered.
No rego on that.
Yeah.
VZ.
Showing 40 kilometres or something.
40 kilometres. Wow.
Quite amazing.
Okay, Bob, we have a VB Commodore there, the Commodore SLE. It's significant as well, a VN beside it, and symbolic as well, obviously, the very start with the VB Commodore, pretty well retaining that size and shape through to the VL, just before the VN.
That was the first of that body shape. That particular one is an SLE, which was top of the line, V8, low kilometre car.
And of course a good example here of a VN.
Yep, start of a new shape. This is a brand new car, never been registered.
Jeez.
Quite amazing that there would be one around like that.
It's nice to see so many brand new Holdens are still
there.
around in
Still
2024, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, my word. Okay, we have a VK Vacationer there. The Vacationer starting out with the Kingswoods with the station wagons in the late 70s, didn't they?
Yes. That particular car is a bit close to Geoff because it's the year that they actually took over the Holden dealership in Coffs Harbour.
Wow.
And he is...
Car in front of us, Bob, a VS Series 2 Esteem.
Yep. In
nice order.
Very nice, very nice. And here again we got the colour still flowing through. You can buy cars same colour basically nowadays, and it's upmarket now.
Yeah. Okay, Bob, behind us the Chimera station wagon. Now the poor old Chimera copped a bad rap years ago, but when we stop and think about the car itself, what would we do now to be able to wind the clock back and have Australian manufacturing building that car for us now? We'd love it very much, but I think back at the time, I guess we all did, we just tended to take things for granted, didn't we?
Absolutely, and the car, although it had a bad name, did very well for a lot of people. A lot of people had a really good run out of those cars.
Yeah. We'll end the interview with you today with this Statesman here next to us, a supercharged Statesman in nice condition, in all its exuberance, sitting here at the end of the museum.
One of Geoff's favourites as well. He purchased this car, and he's has got a touch of love with it.
Bob, I'd like to take this opportunity. I know you have to get away this afternoon. I really appreciate the time you've given us today to go around to pretty well every car. There's a couple that we haven't covered, but you've seen the majority, and I want to thank you for that, Bob. Appreciate it.
Fletch, great to have you here. Thank you for doing what you're doing and giving us the time to come and go through our new museum.
That's okay.
And show the world our little collection.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. And I know you're watching and you want to be here, you want to see this place. It's just another excuse to plan a road trip. That's if you ever need an excuse.
Don't need an excuse to come and look at cars, mate.
Good on you, Bob.
Especially as these.
Keep up your fine work, and really appreciate what you've done here. Well done. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you very much. On behalf of my Rotary Club, Coffs Harbour City Rotary, I'd like to thank you for coming up and doing what you've done. But I would like to sort of acknowledge some of our volunteers that have come on board. Geoff King is very proud of what he's done here, and it's one thing that he's done in the community that he's getting some enjoyment out of showing his cars. But we have some volunteers who have come on since we opened the gallery again, and some of the existing volunteers came back, and we've had quite a few come in, and young Mitchell Law is one of those who has done a truly amazing job of getting you people up here for one, and getting the whole museum out into the public through Facebook and our internet sites. And Steve Little, another one who is one of the original directors of the bunker when it was started up as a cartoon gallery, is here every second day, and if a volunteer doesn't turn up, he's their go-to man. So these organisations don't happen without volunteers. They do an amazing job, and we're forever grateful for them to help out.
Well, there you have it. That's a wrap. You've seen just some of the National Holden Motor Museum here in Coffs Harbour. I hope you have enjoyed it. Until next week, no matter where you're watching Classic Restos from, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch. Thanks for watching. Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons. Sign up to become a member of the Shannons Club. Kenworth Trucks Australia and Pace Farm Eggs.